You think being quiet is a weakness. That's exactly what they need you to believe. The most dangerous predators in nature don't announce themselves. Neither do the most powerful people in any room you'll ever enter. This is what therapists notice first, what intelligence agencies screen for, what CEOs pay consultants 6 figures to teach them. Silence creates information asymmetry. You're collecting data, they're filling voids. In game theory, the player with more information wins 73% of outcomes before the first move is made. You're in a meeting, everyone's talking over each other. You haven't said a word, but you've noticed the CFO checks her phone every time the VP mentions Q3 projections. You've noticed the silence after someone asks about the timeline. You've cataloged who interrupts whom. They think you're just quiet. You're building a map of every power structure in the room. While they're performing, you're learning the game they don't know they're playing. The Zeigarnik Effect. The human brain obsesses over incomplete information. Your silence is an open loop they cannot stop trying to close. You become the missing variable they need to solve. Someone asks your opinion. You pause for 3 seconds. Just 3. In that pause, watch what happens. They start filling the silence, over-explaining, revealing things they didn't plan to say. That pause wasn't hesitation. It was excavation. You're not struggling to speak. You're creating a vacuum they'll rush to fill with truth. Projection bias. People assume your internal state matches your external presentation. But here's the trap. Loud people assume you're uncomfortable, anxious, lacking confidence. They're wrong. You're just operating on a different frequency. After the meeting, someone pulls you aside. You okay? You were so quiet in there. They're not concerned, they're threatened. Your silence didn't give them anything to calibrate against. No ego to flatter, no insecurity to exploit. You became unpredictable. In social dynamics, unpredictable equals dangerous. Your quiet isn't a gap in confidence, it's a wall they can't see over. Go back, listen to that question again. You okay? That's not empathy. That's reconnaissance. Strategic ambiguity, military doctrine. When the enemy doesn't know your position, they have to defend everywhere. When you don't reveal your thoughts, people have to guess, and people are terrible at guessing. They project their fears onto you instead. You're at dinner with friends. Someone's complaining about their relationship. Everyone's offering advice. You're just listening. 2 days later, that person texts you. Not the people who gave advice. You. Because your silence felt like understanding. It felt like you knew something they needed to figure out themselves. You didn't offer a solution. You offered space. Space is where people confess. The spotlight effect in verse. Most people overestimate how much others notice them. But quiet people flip this. Others overestimate how much you're judging them. Your silence becomes a mirror. They see their own insecurities reflected back. You're in a group conversation. Someone tells a joke. Everyone laughs. You smile but don't laugh. Watch what happens next. They'll try again. Different joke. Checking your reaction. You've become the validator. Not because you said anything. Because you didn't. Your approval became currency the moment you stopped giving it freely. Pause. When did you become the person everyone's checking for a reaction? You didn't campaign for it. You just stopped participating in the noise. Stop. You've been lied to. Being quiet was never about being afraid to speak. It was about refusing to waste words on people who aren't listening. The contrast principle, behavioral economics. When you finally speak, the contrast between your usual silence and your words creates disproportionate impact. 1 sentence from you carries the weight of 10 from someone else. You've been quiet for 20 minutes. Then you say one thing, 7 words. The room goes silent, not because of what you said, because of the rarity. You've accidentally created scarcity, and humans value scarce resources. Every time you speak, you're spending social capital you didn't have to earn. You just had to conserve it. Threat ambiguity. Security research shows people fear uncertain threats more than known ones. Your silence is uncertain. They don't know if you're judging them, strategizing, or just observing. That uncertainty registers as potential threat, not because you're hostile, because you're unreadable. New job. First week. You don't try to be funny. Don't try to fit in. Just do the work. Observe. By week 3, people are asking others about you. What's their deal? You've become the unknown variable in their social equation, and unknown variables feel dangerous. You didn't do anything. That's exactly why you're dangerous. In a world addicted to performance, non-participation feels like power, because it is. Think about the last person who made you uncomfortable just by being quiet. You couldn't figure them out. That's not a bug. It's the entire operating system. Final thing, you were never too quiet. The room was too loud, and you were the only one who noticed. The people who fear your silence are the same ones who need constant noise to hide what they're thinking. You don't. That's not a personality trait. That's a tactical advantage. Next video, what happens when the quiet person finally decides to speak, and why everyone wishes they'd stayed silent.